VD, where exactly are you from?
So I'm here in
Okay.
Vishal. Our company is also based here in. So he must have given you all the details of the company, right?
No, we haven't got any details.
All right, I'll share all of those. So our company, if you just Google or just so we're a industrial design, product design studio. I've done this before because usually we get leads through our website. It comes in, but I'm sure you've heard of the feast and famine routine, right? Like we've already gone through that. So I think some of the things that Divyam's already mentioned on the things are the exact issues that we're facing. There are inconsistencies with our leads coming in whenever they want, not having a clear process or an offer to really convert them out, because we're used to traditionally see as a design studio, we're always used to, it took us almost 5 years to kind of let go of that ego and arrogance that we're a design studio, you need to listen to us and really appreciate the offer part and the marketing part. So we just basically do a custom proposal for every single one of these clients. And sometimes the deal time, so Aditya also just joined, sometimes the deal times will take very long. Some have gone to 80 days, 85 days also to close, right? Which is disastrous for us. So I'll give you a very clear overview of what we have this year. This year we want to hit about a million, 1.5 to 2 million target this year.
Dollars?
We
INR.
dollars, yes, dollars. So we've done a million in the past, but in the last 2-3 years, we've had a lot of shuffling back issues and things like that in process and things like that. So our revenues dipped quite bad, actually, honestly, which is one of the reasons also why we're reaching out to people like you to help us out. And really, see, I'll tell you, as designers, right, we'd rather focus on once a lead comes in, talk to them, and then move it along and just close that. We're good at that. We if you go through our project work things and all that, we've done some really interesting work with clients in the US and Europe. I don't think converting has never been an issue. We've always had like a 50-55% closing rate because we've got enough awards. We've been around for 8 years, and we've also have a very strong body of work portfolio wise. So we've done work in 21 different diverse industries. I think we're India's best design studio for the last 4 years. We've consistently won that. I don't know. We just suck at marketing or figuring out how to do things properly. I don't know.
Understood.
So the lead gen checklist that you sent was really interesting. Went through that, and that was also opened up our minds a little bit. So yeah, the idea was to kind of see if somebody professionally in the lead gen business can help us out with this sort of thing, right? Because we might be doing certain things that are wrong, and I think, like I said, it's okay for us to accept that and just kind of move on, right? So that's kind of the core idea.
Right. Okay. And VD, if I talk about the which market you're catering, is it pan India or is it international as well?
So we are looking at three main geographies, Vishal. One is so India is not so much of a priority right now, but we don't say no to projects from India. Like the US is our primary, geography, because we've had a lot of success there. We've launched a lot of products there, and also our ticket sizes are a lot higher in the US. So $30,000 average ticket sizes.
And if I talk about the what is the ticket size in the India markets? Is it something customized?
India market, I would average say around 8 to 10 lakhs.
8 to 10 lakhs. Okay. And any specific state or something that you're focusing upon in Indian markets?
So we've had a lot of success with companies mainly in and around the Mumbai, Pune, Bangalore areas, which is where most of the startups and these days come in. We've had a little bit of traction somewhere around the Gurgaon, Delhi, NCR areas also. But apart from that, we haven't seen clients coming from any other area much.
Understood. Makes sense. Okay. And if I talk about what is the process of generating a lead and getting them onto an appointment, if you could just walk me through it.
Okay, that's a horrible process, I feel. But we'll let you know. I'll let you know basically. So what we do is our primary, at least what we figured out from our analytics and everything, our primary source of leads has been some referral websites. Okay, there's four of those. One is Clutch, but Clutch senses very low quality leads. There's another website called the manifest.com, which is actually That's where some good quality leads are coming from.
Mm,
Then there is there's another website called lemanush.com,
mm,
which is another referral website. And
mm.
then our Pinterest is very good. We have around 800,000 monthly visitors. So we do get a lot of those clicks from Pinterest.
Right, right. Understood. Okay.
So that is how we've been acquiring. Social media, Instagram, we've not got a single lead. LinkedIn has been very good because my personal authority as a design leader is quite high.
Mm-hmm.
So when I post, there's a lot of people who say like, okay, I want to work with you and so on and so forth. And we do get leads from LinkedIn on the social media side of things. So LinkedIn, Pinterest is doing really well. Facebook, nothing. Instagram, nothing. We recently worked on Google My Business optimization just about a week back. So, but we haven't gotten anything much from there either. In terms of blogs, content, and all, we've never really invested in content marketing so far.
Mm-hmm.
Just about a month back, we've got a content writer slash marketing executive on the team now. So we'll start churning out some blogs. And the only reason why I'll tell you is we've worked with certain marketing agencies where it was a disaster. We had a 6 month engagement with them and we didn't get a single lead out of it.
On a
And
single
the
lead.
reason why is I don't think they understood our industry. Our industry is quite niche. So let's say if you write a generic blog, let's say top five, design products of all time, or the five most successful design products, you'll not
Mm,
get a single lead from that because generally what ends up happening is that people are looking for authority. They're looking for problem solving things.
mm,
We recently realized that nobody's searching for the word industrial design from an SEO basis, right? When we looked on things there, it's very little traffic.
mm,
So we realized that other things is what we need to focus on, right? Like, so there's a whole SEO effort right now that's happening on the website. Nobody cares about, because 90% of people don't even know what industrial design is,
mm,
except for designers. So we
mm,
keep getting job applications. We get about 800 applications a month,
mm,
but we don't get clients, right? So we then realized that we should be focusing on problems. Like we recently realized invention help is a good keyword for people are looking at simple things like how do I get my idea to market, right?
mm,
So those, again, this is all like if we ever if you're ever in Bangalore, let me know. We'll catch up over a beer and tell you a lot of these kind of stories. But most of these things are realization over a period of time, saying that this is not what clients look like. There's only designer stuff, right? Like, so only designers want to search for all of these things.
mm,
So it took some time for us to get out of that mentality. So that's another way we look at clients. All of these things are then pushed to our website, which has a form in which people fill out that form.
mm,
There's a certain amount of qualification that we do on the form.
mm.
I'll send you the form after this call. Aditya, can you just make a note and send Vishal the tally form that we have?
Yeah.
So that what it does is it goes, before this we had a monday.com form
Mm,
which got filled up and then came into our CRM. Then Aditya and Rahul, there are two people who do sales in the studio. So they get on a call with them. And then they go through a discovery call and find out what the problem is, blah, blah, blah. And that also is not very structured. We're just working on that right now to get it structured. And after that, a proposal is written with a one-page of proposal saying this is the cost range if you want to take our services, and then let us know. So yeah, that's where most of the problems start. Some don't reply, some will ghost us, the others come back, and the pricing is not aligned. Like
mm.
first in the qualification, they would have selected something like, yeah, we'll spend $50,000, and then they'll come back and say like, oh, the budget is just 1 lakh, right? So completely weird things out. So that's kind of the process, and after that happens, we onboard the client, and then the usual
Got it.
things like
Got
kick
it.
off.
If I talk about the agency that you worked at for the 6 months, so what exactly they were offering?
They did a whole bunch of SEO optimization on the website, which again, we had to crash that website and build a new one, because what they did was on every page, they just put in best industrial design studio in Canada or best industrial design studio in Greece. Each page had one of those things. I
Mm,
think that even penalized us to a very bad extent. So they did a little bit of SEO work. They wrote a couple of blogs. Like, I think they wrote about 15 to 18 blogs each every 2 weeks. I think they were pumping a
mm,
blog out. And then they did some this thing also. What do you call CRM work for us? Initially,
Hmm.
we were very green dude at that time. We didn't know what CRM was. We didn't know anything. So they just took us for a ride on that side and gave us HubSpot, which we never
Hmm.
really used because HubSpot later I realized is for more than like 100 leads a month or something like that. Like
Hmm.
it's there are plenty of smaller alternatives that we could use.
Right.
So that's what they mainly did. Apart from that, there was no other growth activities.
All right. So what were they promising in terms of KPI?
So they were promising around 8 to 10 leads a month coming in,
And you got
and
zero.
also we got zero. Uh,
Hmm.
I mean, literally zero.
So
I
what do they
can
say
I can
about
show you the.
like, after the tenure ends?
That was a very interesting conversation to have, but yeah, they basically said no, nothing's working because the market is down. Yeah, that was very irresponsible and very weird, which is why for almost this happened almost 3 4 years ago. It seriously dented our confidence in working with somebody in marketing, because we thought that it was always a sham and people never would do some things like that. So now the only reason why we came back is we have a little bit of knowledge. We have a little bit of an idea on what to do.
Hmm.
So to be fair, also I don't think we had any clue what our services were, what we were going to do and what we're not going to do. Okay,
Hmm.
so there was a big issue with that.
Hmm.
We were taking up anything and everything that was coming our way, right?
Hmm.
So there was no clear definition of what we'll do.
Hmm.
Also, there was no bottom line of this is the pricing that we are going to charge, and below this, we're not going to go
Hmm.
anywhere, stop and close that. We also didn't have any sort of templates or like a point of view about us clearly,
Hmm.
right? Saying, now we do, we focus on, if you ever ask us, what do we do? We solve this for this type of clients. We know that we have our ICPs clearly defined, all of that.
Hmm.
So, but technically, they should have helped us with that. But instead of that, I think they just jumped in. I don't know, and they're a platinum certified HubSpot agency. But I think they're platinum certified because they sell a lot of HubSpot, not from a marketing standpoint, right? So that's what happened so far. And yeah, I think the main KPIs were around 8 to 10 leads a month at an average project value of 10 lakhs is what they had committed.
All right, understood. I got a good picture about this. Okay, if I talk about the last month or maybe last 90 days, how many leads have you received from all the sources?
How much, Aditya?
I would say around four per month.
For a month, right?
Four a month, yeah.
Four leads a month.
4 leads a month.
Okay, and
From my
are
side,
you
double.
spending some sort of on paid advertisement or something?
No, we've never done ads also, Vishal.
All right, all right. Okay, and if I talk about the leads, so generally how we categorize into three different parts. First, the user shares their information, that is a lead. Then the user will book an appointment, right? That is the show
Correct,
up. Then the user
correct,
will convert. So if I
correct.
talk about the lead, so you have received four leads, and how many appointments out of those four?
How many appointments, Aditya? I think all of them booked,
No,
right?
so I'm talking about hot leads currently when I say four.
No, no, I
Yeah,
wanted
so
to
they
say.
all of them booked appointments, Vishal.
So four appointments and how many leads?
Yeah,
So generally, Aditya is categorized into hot leads, people who showed up.
Yeah.
correct.
So if I talk about the leads, how many of them?
Leads, maybe double of that, eight.
Eight. All of us. Okay. So 50% is the show up rate. Okay. And
Yeah.
how many people converted after the meeting?
Last 3 months, none of them like.
None of them. Zero.
None of them converted, I think.
Understood. Understood. So as I can see, even we have Clutch, Manifest, Lemuse, Pinterest, LinkedIn, but still we are generating only eight leads and 50% shows up. And why they are not purchasing and why they are not converting?
See, what we figured out internally so far, Vishal, is our strategy was always to, since we, again, we're in that, top agency sort of a thing, we're also charging a high. But we feel that the leads that are coming to us are also not our ideal clients. So our ideal client personas are two ideal client personas. We have three actually, but we're right now thinking we'll focus on these two. One are funded startups. So basically, these guys have run either an angel round or a seed round of funding.
Hmm.
And then the second one is a funded entrepreneur, meaning he's not just pulling money out of his own pocket, but he's actually got some sort of a funding.
Hmm.
And the third ICP is basically large corporates or that we've worked with bigger ones like Bajaj Electricals, we've worked with Panasonic, we work with Maersk, all these big guys. But we don't do a lot of them because I feel like from a process standpoint, we still have a long way to go. So one, I definitely think the price is something that is the reason why these guys didn't convert because we tend to go with a higher price starting, which again scares off a lot of entrepreneurs. The second thing also we feel is some of these clients are not our ideal clients because let's say if you're already funded and you have a little bit of knowledge about what design is, then you know what you will actually be getting out. And also, I don't think we are doing a good job explaining that messaging. Right now, we're working on a email automation for, let's say, some of these interested people who probably booked. So let's say give them a bunch of articles like, I saw your messages, like how it is clearly structured out. Maybe there's a video there and it's given context of, okay, this is what it is. Right. So those kinds of things we don't do. So I don't think we're prepping up a lead properly before the appointment so that they understand, okay, this is the value, so on and so forth.
Right.
Another reason why I think a lot of our leads were down is in the last 6 months, our website went through some really bad changes in terms of, let's say, once the Google algorithm came in, there were a lot of issues that were broken. So we had to redesign it. The one that you're actually looking at right now is another new website that had to be done completely from scratch. Because what had happened, the previous developers who had done it in WordPress didn't scale it properly. So let's say if you're looking at it on a laptop, it would look sized differently, and it was too slow, huge imagery. I think it was loading at around 16 seconds or whatever. So all of those things we've currently fixed right now.
And currently it's on Webflow, right?
It's on Webflow, yes.
All right, understood. Okay. And if I talk about the market size, so you have three ICPs: funded startups, funded entrepreneurs, and corporates, right? So what is the market size if I talk about the first two ICPs?
So the TAM on that is pretty big. It's pretty large. Again, we were very unaware. Like there are websites like Crunchbase, and even on LinkedIn, we could actually search a lot of these. We recently started looking at that. There's also a lot of Shark Tank things. Aditya, how many leads? I think we've got a whole bunch of documents. So the I don't have an exact number for you, but the if you just look at funded startups on Crunchbase for the last quarter, I think it's 11,000 companies right there.
Okay, and that is for the
So
talk about the whole world. Any rough estimate?
we
Market that
don't
you're
have an
looking
estimate, but I would say at least 3 to 4 times, 5 times of that, easy. Because we're talking about Europe is pretty popular with these sort of things. Japan is really good with these sort of things. The US, also in APAC, if you look at Taiwan, Singapore, Indonesia, and Malaysia, that's a pretty big region. And then even in India right now, it's picking up really well.
Understood, understood. So, as far my understanding so far, VT, what I can understand that you are doing a lot of things, but using Clutch, Manifest, Lemons, and Pinterest, but still the leads are not flowing in. So, this is
Correct.
putting you in a
Yes.
tough situation deciding how many prospects you'll be getting, and you are purely
Correct.
dependent on the referrals.
Purely on reference, which is
And
what is killing us.
this is something you can't decide how many business you'll be closing next month, how much profits, how much revenue.
Predictability is zero, so we can't really put targets. We can't hold anyone internally accountable also. So that is really hitting our revenue numbers every year. We plan on a target, but we're not able to hit it because again, leads just stop. So
Right, right. So does that put you in a situation where the client is negotiating and you have to accept the price?
yeah, most of the time. So see, sometimes what happens with certain clients is once they're in, we're able to convince them very well on call, saying these are the problems. Sometimes fear tactics work, saying that you'll probably end up paying the amount of money you're paying is you'll end up paying 5 times, 10 times of it in tooling and manufacturing. So in that sense, at that point they'll definitely agree and work. But I do agree. We get a lot of in our thing. We do get a lot of the clients don't really understand what they need to put in. So I feel like the client profile itself is wrong. The ones we're getting, and previously the way we solved it is we had a thing in a form on the website saying our minimum was at least $15,000, and that is the bottom line. That got rid of a lot of the very early stage guys who would come in for that sort of
Right, right. So, what do you think? What's wrong or what's missing the big piece in the whole business? That why you're getting less leads? Plus, it's like people are taking away your power of choosing with whom to work, right? So, what's wrong? What do you think?
So I mainly think there are three main things, Vishal, that I this is
Hmm.
what our assessment so far is. One is we didn't have a very clear idea of what we are going to do and what we're not going to do. So now we've defined that into four main services, four main verticals. One is industrial design that helps clients with, let's say you have an idea in mind tomorrow to make a new pair of sunglasses, right? And to take it all the way to manufacturing, you'll need somebody like us. So that's one thing in that which goes into the industrial design side of things. The second thing is we do interaction design, not the UX UI design, but let's say you have a smart AR goggles and you actually have some interaction inside of it, like screens and buttons and so on and so forth. We design that. That's basically called HMI, human machine interaction. So that is the thing. The third one is packaging design, very straightforward packaging design. The fourth one is called design integrity, which means basically you would have a design, but you would have gone to production with it. It doesn't look anywhere close to the design. So both basically came to us with this problem, and we helped them out with that sort of thing. So these are the four things. First, I don't think we had these clearly mapped out. Second things, we didn't really map out any of the pain points that most of these clients were having, right? So like for example, you're summarizing the pain points very clearly right now, right? You're saying you're not able to choose the right kind of clients. You're probably your clients are coming and negotiating with you for a very low rate because they don't understand. We never had these pain points figured out, right?
Hmm.
So we were never able to communicate that to them properly in our
Hmm.
sales calls. And number three, I definitely feel the website was very chaotic. It was built more for a showcase rather than conversion.
Hmm.
um, People would come in, there'll be plenty of areas for them to get lost and just go somewhere else, and finally the lead drops, right?
Hmm.
There were no landing pages, there were no conversions, there were no proper CTA work done till now.
Hmm. Hmm.
So a lot of all of this contributed. I think it was our inability to kind of figure out, okay, this is what. So let's say, let me give you a very simple example right now.
Hmm.
You're trying to figure out what my problem is right now,
Right.
correct? But you're not just jumping in and saying that I'll give you a lead gen package for this, I will give you a marketing service for this, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
That's what we were doing before. Okay, so our cost for a CAD file would be so much, or a
Hmm.
cost for a idea would be so much, right?
Hmm.
So I call that outcomes versus outputs, right? You're actually figuring out outcomes for us. So
Hmm.
you will probably end up saying that, hey, you've got like 8 leads per month.
Hmm.
I'll take it to 30 leads a month, and
Hmm.
you pay me this much, right?
Hmm.
And that's an offer that I'll say no to. Right?
Hmm.
Why would I say no to it? I'll be like, yeah, definitely, Vishal, let's work together.
Hmm.
Whereas if you just come and say like, okay, my one per lead, I'm going to charge you 1 lakh. I'll be like, okay, thanks, Vishal, and I'll drop off. Right? Like, so the offer part I feel was really really weird when we were working on it. So we've got a little bit of idea right now, but I feel like still that offer thing is not completely flushed out, and our overall process of this
Hmm.
is also not properly flushed out. So in such a case, I think that's where I would assess that that's the main problem. The problems, one is visibility. We're okay now. We're open to running ads now,
Hmm.
but we did a little bit of research. There are only like maybe 3, 4 of our competitors are running ads.
Hmm.
The rest of them don't run ads. Most of it happens through a lot of PR. So we've also built a couple of relationships with some very prominent design magazines and that sort of a thing.
Got it. Got it. So, as I can understand, so it's not just the marketing part which is not helping you to scale, plus the sales part as well, which consists of the offer, right? And earlier it was R&D as well,
Yeah,
deciding your ICP plus the core services that
correct.
you're offering. Right, right. Okay, because generally we usually just solve the marketing and the sales part. So if we could keep that thing aside, and if you could just walk me through what is wrong in terms of, and if you try to fix it, what will happen? Just the marketing parts.
Just the marketing part. You're thinking how to fix it, is it?
Right. So generally, how it goes, let's say first the user will give their information, that is lead. Then they will show
Mm,
up. Then they will be getting closed. So that's a part of a sales framework, sales scripts, whatever it is, offers,
correct.
right? So it has to be a a hand in hand thing. So marketing should
Mm.
produce enough lead and they should nurture. So it shouldn't be like when
Correct.
the prospect shows up on the call, they should be questioning, who are you, what are you
Correct.
doing, and how can you solve a problem, right? And sales
Yep.
job should be to take the requirements, understand that whether they have the money or not, first criteria. Second, are they struggling with the problem? Third, the problem that they're struggling with, either our product or services solve it or not.
Correct.
So
Yep.
if they
Yep.
fulfills all these criteria, then the sales happens, right?
You're right. You're right. Absolutely right. Which is what we are trying to bring in right now. Let's say if I take your thing, right, like marketing wise, what do we solve? I feel
Mm.
like we need to write a lot of blogs in terms of, let's say, the kind of the right kind of keywords that people are searching for, right? Like, so for example, invention help, how to invent an idea, how to come up with an idea
Mm.
and take it to market, right? Like, so problems, pain points, right? Like we've listed all the pain points. I can share that with you.
Mm.
What we help, like how can you make a product better? What if we redesign it for higher sales, right?
Mm.
Like, or let's say how to redesign a product to save cost, right? So those kind of things I think will help people find us a lot easier. Second thing, obviously, I think we need to do some PR work in terms of articles with all these other magazines, and there are websites like Yanko Design, Code 77,
Mm.
uh, Design Wanted, all these things where it will give us visibility and authority, right? Which will also give us
Mm.
backlinks and stuff like that.
Mm.
So I'll tell you a very simple example. Like we had a page called Smart Product Design about 2 years back,
Mhm.
and it was a very low difficulty keyword, and we ranked number one for it on Google. Okay, in less than a month or so, we ranked for it because the content was good, images, everything was great.
Mhm.
Just that one page, just a one single keyword is bringing us around 8 to 10 leads a month. Just a one keyword. Okay,
Mhm.
so I feel like getting on the first page would also help. So in terms of SEO, in terms of optimization, I feel that work has to get done. So we have internally a performance marketer who arrived with us, and then, like I said, we got a person also who just writes content and does a little bit of marketing work.
Mhm.
So these two people are now working on optimizing each page. Right? So that's
Mhm.
another thing I would do. But lastly, I feel we have. I honestly feel we could do a really good email marketing campaign, right?
Mhm.
Which could bring in a huge amount of leads. Because guess what? We're not reaching out to any of these people, our
Mhm.
ideal clients. We know they are on Crunchbase. We know they're on LinkedIn. We
Mhm.
know they're on all these digital platforms, but we're not reaching out to them, right?
Mhm.
So I think if I would divide it, I would say like immediate marketing would do something heavily on terms of email marketing,
Mhm.
where we could send a whole bunch of emails without getting flagged or whatever. The quality of that email, the subject of those emails are very, very relatable to the pain points,
Mhm.
right? And that helps us bring in a boatload of leads.
Mhm.
The second thing is to either run ads, or
Mhm.
we could do a whole bunch of posts on Google My Business and social media and stuff like that,
Mhm.
which could also help, increase visibility and so on and so forth. Third thing, I feel like in marketing itself, if we look at it, what works in our industry, I feel it would be to, let's say, as much as possible, get on, like, let's say these podcasts, or basically get featured on these
That's a great
platforms,
idea.
right? So
Mhm.
to run through some of these things, and I've got these invites before, but like I
Mhm.
said, I've not done it, and I'm not shy about public speaking or anything. Like uh,
I
I
can
don't
see
even
that.
need a deck to talk. I can just get on stage and start speaking. I've done a couple of talks, especially just as a few favor to friends at the Mumbai Design Expo, Pune Design Festival, and all these. But apart from that, I kind of generally, because I've got a lot of things to fix, right? Like, which is the reason I'm talking to you. I want to be at the studio and try to work through all of this, right? So that I feel that that's these three would get us there. We've never done emails, we've never done ads. We could experiment with
Mhm.
some of these, like simple ads, which would reach the right kind of people. In my experience, we had done ads. I'm not actually, I shouldn't say that. We've done ads about 4 5 years back.
Mhm.
But again, they were all wrong. I feel they were all wrong. We were running again ads for industrial design, which somebody is not searching for again.
Mhm.
So we probably, if we do the right ad saying, like, we can help take your idea to market, and here's a case study or whatever. Probably people will come. Facebook is much more was much more successful to us in terms of ads because there a lot of entrepreneurs were part of all these Facebook groups, these Reddit groups,
Mm.
hack communities. If we reach out there, I feel we can definitely get some leads from there. So that's what I would do as immediate things. Long term, obviously
Mm.
SEO and
Right. But SEO is something you, let's say, if you're spending today, you won't be getting results, right?
exactly.
And
Yeah,
you can't sustain a business for a longer period of time because obviously you
sure,
have a lot of expenses, right? So
exactly. Yeah,
you want to have a business this month as well, and for a longer, you're already doing SEO activities. Okay,
correct.
understood. So if I talk about the ICP, so where do you think they exactly hang out in terms of platform?
So I think most of our ICPs will be on LinkedIn.
Mm.
I think that's the most relevant one.
Mm.
But I also think a lot of our ICPs hang out in these niche communities. Like, for example, um, we should be working with a lot of people who go to crowdfunding, meaning like, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we never find those guys until they actually launch a campaign on Kickstarter.
Mm-hmm.
So there are a few crowdfunding companies we are also part of now, where we have joined their communities
Mm-hmm.
by paying something and joining their communities. So there, uh, we get a lot of success because again, we can just directly reach out to the founder who's sitting there and say like, hey, I think we can help you out. Just 3 days back, we reached out to one guy who immediately it happened. That day itself, we got a call
Mm-hmm.
fixed, and then we got on the call, and now I think we're sending him a proposal in another 2 days. Right. So in such a sense, I feel those communities we should be rather we need to partner with some of these guys. I think you must have heard of who do a ton of ads on crowdfunding. That's a good agency. I think we're trying to get in touch with them. Kickstarter, these kinds of communities are there. So if
Mm.
we can find some of these communities online, it's a gold mine that nobody's tapped into yet.
Right, right. Understood, understood. Okay, and you mentioned that email marketing is something that you could tap, right? But back in 2018, it used to work. Generally, if I talk about the cold emailing, getting the leads, or getting
Yeah,
leads from
yeah,
different Apollo.io or different sources, and using
mm,
Lemlist to reach out people,
yeah, mm,
it doesn't work in today's era. Plus, if I talk on the power dynamics, so that will be also like they'll be in a more power, they'll be deciding and negotiating, right?
okay,
And generally how we use email, it's just on the basis of the nurturing, right? So
mm,
getting the emailers with their consent, okay, we are interested, I want something, right? Then using email and WhatsApp and different sources to nurture them, to build that authority. So
okay,
that can be done. If you try to use the email on the earlier form, obviously it won't work out.
okay,
That
okay,
is
okay.
the insights. All right. So if you could, last thing I just wanted to understand, if you could just give me a walkthrough of the whole process. Let's say the services that you're offering, and there is a customer that is X. So what is that problem that he's facing, and how these services will solve it?
Sure. So most of the entrepreneurs, right? Like, so if we classify them in the ICP orders, most
Hmm.
of the entrepreneurs who come to us,
Hmm.
they'll have an idea,
Hmm.
but the first pain point is they wouldn't have validated whether that idea can work.
So
Okay.
they need a prototype.
So they need a prototype. Exactly.
Hmm.
So that will be the first service that we will be providing.
Hmm. How
Right.
much will it cost?
So it again depends, but I would say roughly around 10 to 15 lakhs would be that. So all product design work, right, is expensive
Hmm.
because we are dealing with very niche resources. Like if I tell you honestly, I'll just tell you a scale. When I went to design school, 250 applicants came in, out of which 14 got selected and two of them got jobs. That's how very selective. So there are not a lot of industrial designers that people can go to, right? So the cost is high to build that, especially if you're coming to a reputed firm that has licenses, that has different tables, seat cost, and a bunch of designers.
Hmm.
Like our team is around 20 people right now.
Hmm.
So we will have to chat somewhere around that. Okay.
Okay, and
But
if you could
go
add
ahead.
some sort of example into this, because just having a hypothetical product will little tough for me. Just any case
Sure.
study, something.
Sure. So recently we worked with an entrepreneur from the US who wanted to create a smart diya, like a Diwali diya sort of a thing.
Mm-hmm.
So because in the US, he initially thought US, and then we helped him realize that even in India you can sell this.
Mm.
Um, so his initial thing was when you light a diya, obviously there's a fire hazard. in the US, right? Like, so let's say oil drips and catches fire. The second thing is that he wanted to create something for the modern era, not just the old Dia type of. So he wanted to look at something like this in a smart category. So that is his major thing, and that's all we get usually. That's the first thing in the discovery call. That's all we get with the entrepreneurs. And then we help them. We help him realize this is how it could look. Okay, so there are defined design for that. So once that is done, we then move on to actually making it in 3D CAD. And then after 3D CAD is done, couple of rounds of 3D printing, we have everything in house. So we could look at that, and we can actually come up with the overall work in that. So let me see if I can pull up the project to show
Sure.
you. Yeah, so this is the one that we worked on. It's called IDEA. Basically, IDEA is the overall thing. So basically, again, they approached us. So this is all research. We call these. There's a reason why we called analogy. We connect stories to the problems and then come up with a narrative, right? So that's what the whole meaning of an analogy is. So I'm sure you would have heard of things like, for example, like the dog's tail can never be straight, right? Which is an analogy, but it's born out of a logical conclusion. So we use a lot of that, a lot of comparison images. So again, then a lot of these sketches get done. So you kind of see different small concepts growing through different, and then end up being the final one, right? And then this is a 3D rendering that is done for it, done for the product itself. And then, then we work through a lot of CAD work and everything to come up with this. And then the actual prototype is done, right? So it has electronics in it. There's a lot of like physical work. There's material selection that needs to happen, textures, finishes. A lot of these need to happen. Then the app needs to get developed. All of that stuff happens. And then we need to check sustainability wise, manufacturability wise, will it actually work? And then we create all the product variations of the different products in with it. There's different colors, there's different finishes, there's different sizes and everything that gets done. So this is basically a typical process that goes through. This is very simplified. I actually take you through the full case study. It's quite long. So this takes us about 4 to 6 months to finish. But technically 4 months you can keep as an average timeline for this.
Right. And what will happen if that prospect chose to do it by themselves?
So number one is the prospect will take a very long time for them to figure this out. So the 4 to 6 months where we took them probably will take them around 2 years working with, let's say, random freelancers, factories and all of that. Also, the cost of developing it individually with so many people, with so many mistakes happening, will be probably 3 to 4x of ours. These are great questions, by the way. And the number 3 thing would be that they might end up with a great looking design, but it won't be manufacturable. So they'll have to completely start from scratch. So a lot of entrepreneurs go through this and then they give up. Most of them just say, this is not a good idea, I'll leave it. And most of the 90% of the time they give up because it's not about the idea, it's because the approach they took is entirely wrong. I'll tell you a very simple example. Like, for example, you're developing an app. Right? You do a very quick MVP of it, a minimum viable product, you throw it out in the market, you collect some user feedback. If it was wrong, you write a few lines of code in the computer, done. Right? Launch it back, your investment is safe. Physical products, you can't do that because you actually have to make the mold. There's material that gets poured into the mold, and then you create physical product, like tangible product. Right? Like say, you can't go back and change it. You have to throw it away. You have to rebuild another. So you could say like, I learned a lot from it. You'll do it again, but the number of steps will decrease. You have to spend another because CAD takes so much time, prototypes take so much time, engineering takes so much time. There's no way you can actually go in. Right, so these are some things that are very, if he has to do it alone, these are all the things that plus include the confusion, where to go, who to actually approach, what vendor do I look for manufacturing, what vendor I look for electronics, where do I get material, how much is it going to cost me to build, how much is it going to cost to tool, should I build it in China, should I build it in India, should I build it in Taiwan, Philippines, huge amount.
Understood. Got it. Now I got a clear picture of this. Okay. And if I talk about, because I understood the whole ICP and everything, the whole process, But now let's get back to that marketing thing, because I can see you're not getting enough leads, then appointment, then sales. So problem is still with the leads. So first, even if you try to tap different, let's say blogs, PR, email marketing, or different podcasts, that's gonna take a lot of time because that is something which is organic.
Yes.
Right? It
Yes.
will definitely be fruitful and it will compound over the period of time, but that is something, it's long term and you can't rely on this as of now. Right? Understood. Okay.
Right. Right.
All right.
Exactly correct.
I got a clear picture. So let's talk about the process, that what I think, and we'll try to craft a
Okay.
game plan, right, for
Hmm.
you, that how this
Yes.
can work in terms of reaching out to the right ICPs, right? Plus,
Hmm.
I can understand the thing and the price that it takes. Not a lot of people are there who will be needing this product, right? So it's a very, very niche market,
Very much correct. Yep.
right? So generally,
So, see,
right.
I would definitely say if you look at the entrepreneurial side, right? Like for example, we were thinking of crawling Y Combinator and just figuring out all the kind of people over there, right?
Mm,
Because those are the right people for us to get into. Also, we've had a lot of success with Indian entrepreneurs who are living in the US
mhm,
and Europe.
mhm,
Like we recently did a chai machine, an automated chai machine for a client in the UK,
mhm,
right? These kinds of people they basically find us through these communities only,
mhm,
these very niche communities, like I said, crowdfunding this and that.
mhm,
So I feel that's why I said maybe email marketing. But let's say if we had the same flow as an email marketing, but let's say we're targeting certain Facebook groups or
mhm.
these Reddit groups or like these crowdfunding communities, and we kind of drop something. And this is what I think we do. Probably that might actually work. I don't know. Again, I'm not very sure. That is the only reason why we resorted to this idea of maybe running ads
Right.
because I don't know, but ads is not the most convincing thing for us.
Right, right, right. So obviously, ads is not something that will work for every business, but it works for 95, 97% of the businesses, right? And so, all right.
Right.
But before coming on to the solution and the game plan, so I would like to give you a brief insight about the different temperament, right? So generally, how
Mm-hmm.
we categorize the prospects or the market into three temperament, that is hot, cold, and warm.
Correct.
Right. So generally, people who are hot, so they are most interested. They know about the product, the services, what they need, at what price they need. Right. Warm, they are at a stage they are considering the product services. They're not sure about the price or the value that they'll be getting.
Yeah. Yep.
And last is cold. They have no idea. They have no clue what to do, how to begin with. Right. So biggest size is always will be the cold audience. So
Mm-hmm.
we did another level detailed breakdown of this. That is unaware, problem aware, solution aware, product aware, and the most aware. Right.
Okay. Okay.
What we are trying to target, if we are going on a Reddit or groups, different groups, LinkedIn, different communities, that is the most aware audiences, right?
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
So people, they know about it, and that is something that you are generating the cash flow out of it. But if you want to
Correct.
scale it, you can't go and double down those things because there are limited set of people, right?
Correct. Correct.
Either a new firm or new person comes into the picture and they start targeting one upper level. Let's say, let me just share my screen. Yeah, coming back to that thing, that is most aware, so then there will be a stage that is product aware, one level upper, that is product
Mm-hmm.
aware. So they know how to build and get their things done. They are aware of different companies, but they are not sure to whom to move ahead with. Then there will be another
Okay.
stage
Okay.
that is solution aware. They know the thing that if they are trying to build a prototype or they are trying to do the pilot test, so they know how to do it, but still they are not aware of the companies, right? And there will be a problem where, okay, they have a proven idea, but they don't know how to make a prototype out of it. And there will be a stage
Correct.
where that
Correct.
is unaware, and that is the biggest share of the market, that how we can get this thing on a physical level. So podcast is something that is very, very great. Let's say if you create a content around this, that how to create a idea, or if you want to get it done on a prototype basis, this is something, this is the time it will take, this is the trial and errors it will take. But if you work with a professional, this is the time you will save, this is the value you'll be getting, that
Correct.
is not there.
Correct.
But if I talk about how to amplify it in terms of creating a
Got it.
funnel, whatever the leads that you have, nurturing them, capturing them, and closing them, so a funnel is required, right?
Mm-hmm.
So generally, this is the funnel that I usually walk through, walk through with
Okay.
my prospect. But I think apart from this, this is something that will work for your business. This is something I have
Okay.
never disclosed to anyone. It is personally for my firm. That is how to
Mm-hmm.
generate enough leads, so you will be having the power to decide whom to
Okay.
hire, right?
Okay.
As you can see, it's not just the paid ads; it's paid ads, content outreach that currently you're relying upon different communities,
Correct.
cold
Correct. Correct.
emails,
Correct.
DMs, and the partnerships.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So if I talk about generally how it goes, obviously it will be little technical, but I'll try to make it very simple. Right.
No, this we are aware of this now, Vishal. I think we should be able to catch up with you on these things right now. So we now understand what a lead magnet is, and we've identified some lead magnets to be designed for our things also. So go ahead, go ahead. No worries.
Right, right, right. Perfect. So this is something that how you will be tapping different channels and how it will be helping you to generate more leads so you can close more clients. Right. So we need to have a
Mm-hmm.
specific strategy for each and every vertical. If I talk about
Okay.
ourselves, we are very good in the paid ads and content. This is something that I'm doing for myself, just on the LinkedIn. Right. If I talk about the last 180 days, I was able to get
Yeah.
325 discovery calls for my agency just through LinkedIn, organic.
Oh wow.
But
Damn.
outreach
Okay.
is something that I thought to do, but I feel it doesn't set the right power dynamics. So I tried this
Mm-hmm.
partnership. Not looking forward as of now, but paid ads and content. This is working great for us, right? Even the content that I create on
Right.
LinkedIn. So founders of people who featured on the Shark Tank, they even commented and asked for the lead magnet that I was giving, right?
Oh, nice. Okay.
So live workshop, webinar, there is a number of things, but obviously it will be very complicated. What is the actionable thing, right? Actionable thing is, let's
Mm-hmm.
say if you try to run ads for your business, right? How the 99% of the agencies or the consultants will suggest you that start
Correct.
running ad. People will see the ad, or they will not see the ad, or they will do not click on the ad, but you already spent the money for showing the ad, right? So
Mm-hmm.
people will click on the ad and there will be a form open on the Facebook, LinkedIn, Google, whatever channel. Now the user will fill the form and your sales team will try to call them. But the problem with this form is on Facebook, the target audience that we are planning to reach won't work in this manner. The quality of the leads, whichever is coming, it will be of very, very poor quality, right? Either the
Mm-hmm.
phone numbers are incorrect. They'll say we haven't filled the form, my child has filled the form, please don't call, we don't need this product service. So next thing is you try create a landing page the way you have created your website, and
Mm-hmm.
then they will give their information and you try to qualify on just on the basis of the form, right? I guess this is the form.
Correct.
Just
Yeah.
1 2 3 4 5 6 information that you're asking, and there are other 4 steps ahead of it,
Correct. Correct. To start with, yeah.
right? But why somebody will give their information, that is the question, right? Why somebody will take 3 minutes or 5 minutes of their time to fill out a form, and what if they don't know what they'll be getting in return?
Correct. Yeah. There's a lot of those things for sure.
Right. So I mean, very detailed thing, or very things which are not impacting directly to the business, but it gives a significant level if we try to optimize at each at every level, right? So
Mm-hmm.
this is the funnel that we are using for ourselves because you've already gone through it. You'll be able to catch up very quick. And this is something we
Okay.
have to add little tweaks and improvise according to your business, right? So let's say
Okay.
if you're running ads, plus we need to set different ads for different level. Let's say unaware, problem aware, solution aware. If we are creating a video or maybe a podcast, that how to get your dream idea into a product with these three
Mm-hmm.
easy steps. This is a video. If I try to reach out or run this ad for people who are already aware, who know which for which company they have to get the work done, right? That won't work. But just to educate the people and get them to watch a video, so they can have an idea, so they can start working onto it. And when the stage comes that hey, I need to get this prototype done, they'll reach out to whom?
They'll remember and reach out. Okay.
Exactly, exactly. So in this case, let's say if you're running the ads, the people will see the ad and click on the ad, or they don't. If you don't click on the ad, we have to improve our ad targeting or the creatives. What sort of creative, what
Okay.
sort of videos we need to run. Then a landing page. You have rightly mentioned that if a user lands onto this, they will be lost, right? And we have to accept the fact that the prospect is not aware and he needs the hand holding in terms of where exactly to click, right?
Correct. Yeah.
If you see this landing page, there are only two buttons and that will get my task done. The user will not click on anywhere right? They'll click on this button, they'll
Yeah.
click on this button and get the lead generation checklist.
Yep.
If they want to get a call booked directly, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Back to this, so they'll visit a landing page, they will give the information. Now the question is why they should give your information.
Hmm.
First we have to qualify the user at this stage as well. Let's say if I'm giving let's say if you want to get your idea into prototype, these are the three things that will save you lakhs of rupees, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
who will
Exactly.
fill the form? The people who are at this stage, right?
Hmm.
Otherwise people will not fill the form or they will
Fill
not
out for that
on
form.
the
Yeah.
ad. You're saving your ad cost, you're saving your traffic, that only, and saving your time and energy of the sales team, that they'll be not wasting their time and energy on bogus leads basically, right?
Hmm.
Let's say if everyone is not filling up the form, so we have to retarget them on an ad level. We'll be
Correct.
doing that. A
Correct.
lead magnet is required, and this is something which will vary from different stage to stage and channel to channel. Next, they will book a call with us, or they will not book a call with us. If they do not book a call with us, how are we gonna retarget them? That is a part of nurturing. Let's say they are seeing ads. Second, let's say on ad level, we're giving them this is the case study of that idea, that this is the case study and how much money they have saved, and this is the roadmap, this is the scalability of their idea. So they might book a call with us. Plus,
Got it.
email automation, WhatsApp automation will be there. If you try to do it manually, that is something which is not scalable. We need to remove the human intervention.
Yeah, true.
So
True.
email automation will be there, WhatsApp automation will be there, that hey, you have a call. Plus there is a problem of show up rate as well. People books the call but they do not show up at the call. So for that we have to nurture them and make them provide the right testimonials, right reminders on a WhatsApp and on email. Now once they have qualified, because the form that you have filled or Divyam has filled, so it has a detailed question, so we can understand the right situation of the firm or the business.
Hmm.
Then according to me, let's say there is a brand who is giving very vague information, so you might not be jumping on to that call. Maybe your sales rep will be taking the call, right? But let's
Correct.
say there is a different guy who fills a form and you think this is something needs my attention, let me hop on a call. So you
Hmm.
are saving your time, your sales reps time, because we are qualifying at every stage from ad to getting an
Correct.
appointment. So now after this, lead will show up. Now you'll, then the sales part comes into the picture. They'll close up or take the follow-ups. But as you can see, it's more structured, more qualified, and
Hmm.
more scalable. Do you have any questions in this?
No, I think what you've said is, all perfect. Like, we try to come up with something like this also beforehand,
Hmm.
with the knowledge and issues that we had previously.
Hmm.
But I think where we fell short was, again, we got confused on how to actually
Hmm.
retarget, because we don't have an idea of
Hmm.
how to build a WhatsApp automation or an email automation. Things like, I think we were reading something online, and it said, like, okay, if you do this and this, then your domain might actually get blocked by Google or something like that, right?
Hmm.
So there are some technical things where we don't know how to
Hmm.
push. But apart from that, I think a lot of things that you mentioned makes a
True.
lot of sense. One is, I think Aditya can tell you a lot about that, is that we spend a lot of our efforts on useless leads, right?
Hmm.
Which, again, and it's the, kind of depressing for the sales team also. Oh,
Hmm.
I've got 8 leads, but not a single one is correct, and
Hmm.
we are. Right? So even after a period of time, they start feeling like, oh, am I in the right industry? Am I in the right company? There's a lot of issues that can come because of that. So I think we've faced a lot of this personally. There's a reason why, whenever you said this, it relates. It doesn't feel like you're selling or anything. We know that this is a issue very truly, within the overall community also.
Right.
So yeah, no. Overall, I don't think we have a lot of questions. I think the only thing I would say is, I know a lot of people have not really worked in our domain. So I
Right.
think the one
Hmm.
thing is to just basically, get your comfort level. Will you be able to help us with this?
Right. 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 So
Us, how are you going to help us? And
So
what are you?
in this thing, plus as you mentioned that your sales have wasted a lot of time in certain companies, how it goes, the blame game starts coming to the picture. Marketing team is not able to generate good leads, or the sales team is not able to close them. This happens, and I can relate to this. Currently, the industry average is 10%, and it varies depending on the sales rep and how the whole process. And why I took a lot of time in understanding the problem is because I genuinely wanted to help, right? Because I
Yeah.
know how the product works, I know how the process works. But
Yeah.
just to give you a walkthrough the how the process works and what all things you will be getting,
Mm.
and I have to go through and check the whole qualification in terms of whether we can help or not, right?
Okay.
Because this system works, this will help you to generate good leads, but we have to improvise the system and we have to tweak a little bit to get good quality, because the audience size that you're targeting, it's very very niche.
Yep.
Right.
Yep. Yep. True. True.
So let me just walk you through the process once, that how we do it. So this is a lead gen machine process that we call it. So it's a lot of process, and this is the picture version. That is, first, after getting any brand on board, we have to create a value ladder. Value
Mm-hmm.
ladder, as in, if you try to pitch the core service, nobody's gonna buy it. Nobody wants to
Exactly.
get told. The similar thing that you have seen on our model as well, right?
Which is exactly what I was trying to tell you beforehand. The reason, why we were losing a lot of things is we are going straight up for that top 6-month checkup price, right? We're not laddering the offer,
Right.
right? So then what happens is, we see, even in my career, like I've been doing this for 23 years now.
Hmm.
Even I know that for me, let's say today, let's say you tell me like,
Hmm.
okay, VT, I think I can help you. I'll get you 50 leads
Hmm.
next month,
Hmm.
but you pay me like a lakh per lead, right?
Hmm.
Then even though I trust you,
Hmm.
you've given the right solutions, I
Hmm.
probably would never pay that much, right? Because we don't have that trust. We've
Right.
never.
Right.
So that makes a lot of sense. That laddering thing is actually perfectly correct. Yeah.
Plus, cause I know how everyone is doing it. Obviously, I won't be quoting any price that is not ROI driven, right? So for that, actually, we have a ROI calculator as well. So
Okay.
give you a right picture. Okay, this much money you'll be paying to the agency after the ad spend, and this much how much money you'll be generating. So we have a
Got it.
specific thing as well. So it won't be like I'll be quoting anything, right? Everything will be data driven. Coming back
Okay.
to the process, that value ladder is something that is required. We'll be
Hmm.
creating and suggesting a value ladder. This is how you have to pitch. You must
Hmm.
have seen a lot of ad of the agencies that we are doing this free consultation call. We have done this. These are the great results. Come book a call with us. What they are doing is directly pitching their core offer. In our case, we did not pitch the core offer. The core offer was placed in the backend once the
Hmm.
user gave the information. In my ads, in my landing page, it was all about the lead generation checklist. Apart from it, nothing else. I really wanted to provide value. That was the whole agenda. And
Hmm.
if I talk about the cost per lead, I mean, people giving the information, the other agencies, they generate at the cost of 300 rupees to 250 rupees.
Hmm.
Right.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
In our case, the cost of generating a lead is 20 rupees.
Oh wow. Okay.
And the surprising part is directly getting the meetings the way you have booked. The directly getting the meetings is the cost at the cost of 150 rupees. That's it.
Hmm. Hmm.
So it's like we are getting enough leads so we can choose, okay, these are the leads, go try, test, understand problem, all that thing. Right. So value ladder is required that we'll be creating for the brands that works with us. Plus, ad is something, a boring ad can take all your money. A good ad will help you to scale very fast. So
Exactly. Yeah.
with proper framework, how to catch user attention, what to have in the whole video ad or a image ad, and what is the call to action. That is something we have proven steps that we derive, and that then how we create. Plus the ad copies, it should be engaging, not very salesy. The
Yeah.
funnel, it varies from brand to brand. The funnel that I just showed you, this one, so it's the same thing that we need to create. Plus a lead magnet to filter out the quality people, to filter
Hmm.
out the ICPs. There are landing pages required. We created from our end. All the
Okay.
coding stuff which is required to integrate all the platforms, we do it. All the automations required in terms of, okay, once the user has filled the form, now what will happen next, at what frequency, what, how many emailers, how many WhatsApp messages. We'll be creating everything, plus a detailed form to qualify the prospect. We'll be doing it. Generally in your case, you're generating 8 leads. I've seen brands, they generate 300 leads and they still work on the Google Sheets, and that's not the optimum way of working. So we give the sales CRM, and it's very very friendly in terms of getting how to use it. Plus you'll be
Hmm.
getting a sales pipeline, how many prospects are there, how many qualified, how many calls, how many proposals closed. Plus you don't have to, because sales team, they usually struggle with the qualifying them, and their
Correct.
job should be to directly take the requirements and set on a call. So
Correct.
on just a click away, it will be integrated on their Google Calendar or iOS Calendar. They can just click and be directly uh, take the meeting. Plus optimizing the campaign, scaling the whole funnel, this will be done. So apart from, it's not just a Facebook ad service or Google ad service or SEO service, because SEO is not included in this. So it's just meta ads and the funnel in terms of getting the KPI is to generate high quality appointments and leads,
Yeah,
not
yeah.
just leads but the appointments,
Appointments, got it. Yeah.
right? So this everything include, plus you'll be getting a CRM. Let me just give you a overview. So it is app.performancesolutions.in. You'll be getting an app, iOS app or the Android app as well. So in this, you can easily keep a track how many leads you have generated, what
Okay.
is the status, how many leads are converted, at what stage they are in. Because currently, even if you're generating 8 leads, but we are not even sure how many will convert. But once you see, okay, we have generated, let's say, 300 leads, and quality leads are, let's say, 50, and 25 people have already scheduled a call with us. So we know according to the last month's average, this much businesses that we can close. You can easily calculate it. Plus
Yeah.
different sources from, let's say, LinkedIn, maybe podcast, maybe Google My Business. You can keep a track from where exactly you're being profitable and stop
Got
burning money on channels which are not profitable.
it. Hmm.
Plus you're using different channels, let's say Instagram, Facebook, Google My Business, emailers. So it becomes a very haphazard thing in term for the user to shuffle around apps to apps, right? In this
Correct.
thing, everything will be integrated, and from this app only you can directly have a conversation with the prospect or user, and you can keep a track, okay, when was the first message was sent and from which channel. Your calendar will be integrated. You can add your sales reps, you and your whole team, and see, okay, how many bookings we have received.
Mm-hmm.
All the past contacts, you can add it over here. This is how your sales pipeline will look, and it can be customized according to business, how many leads you can just, it's a drag and drop facility, very simple. If you are using, let's say, if you are catering into international market, so you must be having Stripe or PayPal, you can easily integrate over here itself, so you can directly take the payments, and automation will be done, landing pages will be done from our end. Plus it has a lot of features which is not necessary as of now because the company
Landing
is.
pages will integrate into our website, or it'll be another website totally.
So website is something you can have it for on a different platform as well, but for
Okay.
the landing page we will be creating it using our CRM.
Okay. So that doesn't mean that it will be on the analogydesign.co thing. It will just
No,
be
no,
on
no,
the
no.
all
So
platform here.
if you notice, this is the landing page. It ends with lp.india, right?
Okay,
So
okay,
if I
okay.
just write .in, this opens our main website,
Goes up. Yeah, yeah. Okay, makes sense. Makes
and it
sense.
also has the one of the lead magnet on the main website.
Got it. Got it. Understood. Understood.
So this
Okay.
is the process, and as you can see, how my calendars are already blocked. This is
Mm-hmm.
how the calendars are getting already blocked.
Let me ask you one more question. How do you decide what call to go on? Like, do you
So
get on almost all of these calls?
depends on the form, the how the web has filled the form.
What did he do that was different that made you come on the call?
So it depends on the ticket size, how soon you want to get this started, right? And what is the how much money you have in terms of, let's say you're struggling just on a, if the money is the constant source of stress, then obviously I'll be not hopping on this call.
Nice. That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. We don't do that. That's very smart. That's very
Because as
smart.
a founder, you have to save a lot of time. Need to work and put your time into things that yield more, right?
Exactly, Vishal. I think that makes a lot of sense. See, that's what even we want for us also. Like there are times when Aditya will take it, even but for him also, right? He's also managing two different departments, and
Hmm.
I feel like his time will be valuable instead of getting on some of these calls. Wherein, let's say a simple SDR can get on the calls, which
Hmm.
let's say it's no thing and just
Hmm.
close it up.
Hmm.
That makes a lot of sense.
Hmm. Do you
No,
have
but
any?
we're generally all about like figuring out something like this, which is the reason why even when I told the VA also to do it is just there's no pretension on any of this thing. We just want to make sure this problem gets solved because
Hmm.
uh, if again like if we're making money, you obviously will make money. Like we're not like oh we'll keep everything to ourselves, we learn everything. It's we know this. Our clients try to do it with us also. They're like, okay, tell us how you design this product. Sure, we'll tell you. Why don't
Hmm.
you go and do it yourself? It will not happen. It's
Hmm.
not easy. And we want to focus on our strengths, which is we want to work on the design side of things. We don't want to worry about all this stuff and things like that. We could just, very simply move ahead. So that's why this time we again mustered a little bit of courage and basically said, you know what, we'll talk to a few people. This is in April at least. Now we're starting off. At least next year we'll focus on the right kind of things.
Hmm.
Financial year starts.
Hmm.
So that But this month is all about just cleanups. We're working on Notion pages, making sure that all the project management side of things are all okay.
Hmm.
On that we'll get ready in that way, and the rest I think we can just work on these
Right.
kind of things. But lead side is very different. So
Right, right, right. First, we need to make sure that the leads are flowing in, then appointments are flowing in, because you know your value of the product and what you're offering in the market. So obviously, your sales will close.
exactly,
And I
exactly.
really like
So
the way
that's
you're saying that people usually think that they can do it from their end, right? But
correct.
what I have realized that people usually pay money for the knowledge and the experience that other people have, right? There's no sense of
Exactly.
creating already. I mean, people have already created a car or vehicle, right? So it doesn't make sense to create the whole vehicle and, again and use it for your own good. You're just paying money to get that vehicle, and that will save
Exactly.
you a ton of time.
Too much of work also, and I think people who are experienced know that like it's better not to get into all of that
Hmm.
versus the hassle is too much, right? So at least value is okay. If I figure out what this thing works into it in
Hmm.
terms of like your offering, your value add, like
Hmm.
I don't have to worry about the rest of things. It's just straightforward. Okay, I get the results, I'm good, right?
Right,
So that's
right. If you have any doubt in the process, do you think it will work for you first? I wanted to know this.
no, I definitely think that this is a very good process in terms of the way we actually have thought about also.
Hmm.
So I feel one thing that will be interesting for us to figure out, which I think you can help us
Hmm.
in a big way, is what you spoke about laddering the offer.
Hmm.
Making sure we figure out those things. We'll work with you on that. I mean,
Hmm.
it doesn't have to be just you figuring out all of these things by yourself.
Hmm.
We'll work with you because I think domain knowledge wise, we can help you with those. And some of the questions you asked me, right, just now,
Hmm.
you got out a lot of things out of me in terms of what are all the potential sort of things.
Hmm.
So in that way, I think it'll be very beneficial to kind of work on this and take this forward.
Hmm.
And then yeah, as quickly as possible, if we can start, doing this, testing things, and so on
Hmm.
and so forth,
Hmm.
it's better because the more earlier we get these leads, right?
Hmm.
Maybe the first few might actually not work because our offer is not strong, or
Hmm.
maybe the way we are closing the sales is not right,
Hmm.
uh, or maybe we are overselling, and that's the reason why the other customer has more leverage than us.
Hmm.
Those things are all might not be. So in that case, I feel we can take it the next 2 weeks or so. We can try testing a few things out. Once it's there and we set up the system, like whatever your CRM things and all
Hmm.
that, um, should be pretty straightforward. Be good.
Right, right, right. Makes sense, makes sense. Okay, and so technically, for just setting up everything, we charge 1.5 lakhs plus GST. This is for the
Okay.
first month, and
Okay.
from second month, when everything is set up and it's ready to get started, the setup time is usually 15 days.
Okay.
Right. And from next month, we charge 1 lakh plus GST, and there's a profit percentage, very small profit percentage that will be base and performance. That depends once we onboard and understand what is the exactly cost attached to it, how much profit margins are there. Obviously, ticket size is very way too huge, so we'll be taking a very very small percentage out of it. So that is the pricing structure.
Sounds good. I don't think, like I told you, like you generate the leads for us. We have no issue
Leads and
sharing
appointments. Leads and appointments.
appointments. Yeah, we'll close. Closing is our headache. We'll figure
Right.
that out because I think all of us have gotten very good at this. There's
Hmm.
another SDR who's Rahul, who works on Aditya's team.
Hmm.
They're good. They'll close. I don't think there's any issue on that side of things. But yeah, setting up leads and appointments and the right people, that'll be fantastic for us.
Right, right, right. So yeah, this is it. If you have any questions and queries, and the ball is in your court, if you have anything in mind.
Here's what I wanted to just quickly go through. So, like you said, 1.5 lakhs is the initial setup cost, right? Like,
Hmm.
so that will be there, this thing. And then per month, what is there a fixed per month cost?
Yes, that is 1 lakh plus GST.
That is 1 lakh plus GST. And on top of that, whatever leads you generate will come in there. How do you figure out your KPIs? What do you think
So
you're
our
going to look at? Or is this
KPI,
something?
right? For us, there are four KPIs: how many leads we generate,
Mm,
how many appointments we
mm,
generate, at what cost we
mm.
are generating. Our ultimate goal will be to reduce it, the cost per lead
Okay.
and cost per appointment. So these are the four KPIs.
And so if we do, let's say, start work, and you're saying 15 days it'll take for you to set up everything,
Right.
and then then we start looking at it. What do you think average time would be for us to see a first lead as in
First
your
lead usually, if I talk about the rest of the business that we are working with, so it starts coming within 24 hours. Appointment usually takes 2 to 3 days, right?
okay?
If I talk, because obviously I can't disclose data of the different brands because due to NDA.
Sure.
If I talk about my brand specifically,
Hmm.
so it started showing up usually within 24 hours, the appointments.
Okay.
And usually I get used to, this Monday I got 13 appointments.
Hmm. Hmm.
So yeah, it varies. And plus, apart from setting up, a lot of time will be spent on the setting up and the researching part. Because how it in performance marketing goes, that running ads it's very easy. Just the 5% of the job. Creating the
Hmm.
strategy, structuring the emailers, WhatsApp messages, nurturing, how to use what PR campaigns, what testimonials to use at what stage. That is very, very crucial. If that is fucked up, obviously you'll be not making money and it will create a negative impact.
Correct, correct. Yeah. No, I think that should work out. And like I said, we'll take a chance, and then let's try and work this out. We'll be available anytime you need us. Any sort of thing you want us to look at, any advice you need, we can send that over. We also have a lot of content already in house, Vishal. Like
Hmm.
we have a time video person who does a lot of these videos.
Hmm.
We have a bunch of images, videos that you can cut up and create ads and do things. We've done a lot of content of, let's say, me speaking, this, that, and a lot of things there. So what we can do is we'll create a Google Drive dump, which you guys can go through.
We have a full process of how to take the brand assets and domain access. If you want, let's say first we need to get the leads and appointments flowing in. Down the line, let's say 3 months, 6 months. If you want, I can just share my that I'm using for my brand, the content, partnership, outreach. I can just help you set up with those things later once we get these things flowing in.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. See, I think I know even our clients say this all the time to us, and I hate to use that cliched sort of a thing, but like I genuinely mean this. I don't think this is something short term that we're actually looking at.
Mm.
Most of our clients say this to reduce the price down. Generally, saying, please think of it as a long term engagement, not a short term thing. So things, but we know that they're just saying that for price. But I generally think that if this works, right, it's a see what you can understand about a designer, right, and let's say you prove this, there are plenty of other people that you can actually get as good clients.
Mm.
We're actually pretty well known in the design circle. Like I said, I mean, if you look at the number of applications we get, right, like as far
Mm.
as everybody knows us in terms of that. But what I feel we're not doing a good job is actually creating that offer and telling them that, hey, we are looking for you, to help you, right? Like you
Right.
said,
Same.
initially in your, yeah, saying
Mm.
that we are there, we'll help you. Do you
Mm.
have something? We never do that. We keep waiting for them to come to us and say like, oh, help, help, help. But that never happens because let's say they'll see some other person's ad or they'll see some other thing from them, from
Mm.
some competitor of ours, and then they just go there, right? And after everything is done, be like, oh, actually, yeah, we should have worked with these guys.
Right.
So
Right.
that is an issue. And if let's say this part is taken away, Aditya can focus. Closing deals would be his number one thing, right, for salespeople.
Mm.
Uh, we don't have to worry about all these other crazy things. We'll take care of SEO in house and content and all that blog stuff and all that. That should be pretty straightforward for us.
Right. Right. Right.
Just this part that you're talking about, like making sure there are leads and there are appointments, is I think pretty good for us.
That will solve most of your problems. Most of it, because during this whole conversation, I can understand lead and appointment is something which is missing from the whole business because that is the only source which will get the revenue flowing in. The rest of the activities will get the money out only.
Yep, yep. I think that is pretty much there. Aditya, do you have any questions for Vishal?
I do.
How do we sort of decide these appointments that get set up right are from like a qualified lead or an ideal client? Like it can't be from a random lead who just books the call. So
Obviously,
yeah, how do
obviously. So that's why I mentioned in the lead magnet form that who is in need or who's in pain of that problem, they'll be the only ones who will be filling up that form. First, that is the qualifying stage. Second, to have a qualifying stage, that is a detailed form. That something we will decide after setting on an onboarding call. Okay, how you will qualify the customers. Generally, how we qualify the customers, that is, they should have the money to pay us. Second, they should have a problem that they are struggling with. And third is we as a product or service, we should help them to solve the problem. So if that is a perfect fit, that's a qualified buyer. And it may vary from business to business. So that is something once we sit on onboarding call, we understand. Then we figure out, okay, this is how we have to structure.
How confident are you on this? Because have you worked in such niche industries before?
It's very, very niche. That's why I'm saying. But I trust the process. I trust the process for sure. It has been working very good for me. The if you want, I can't disclose clients' data. I can disclose my data. Cost of lead is 20 rupees. Cost of appointment is of 150 rupees, and the ticket size is 1.5 lakhs. Pretty good funnel, working pretty good in terms of nurturing, and you have already experienced it. The email automations, WhatsApp automations, the funnel, ads, everything. So that's ultimately depicts how it works.
No, can you tell me another niche industry you work for?
So another for we have different niches. That is real estate. We have a one investor's house. So that is based out of Gurgaon. Then we have nail salons. We have med spas. We have dentists. We have one financial. And today morning we had a discovery call. One of the coaches and consultants.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we have experience, and this is the same funnel. Like it's a template of a funnel, but we have to improvise according to brand, right? Some brand may make money on upfront basis. Some brand, if I talk about the coaches and consultants, they don't make money upfront. They have an entry product that is of 199 rupees, 299 rupees, but at the back end, their ticket size goes to 1 lakh rupees as well. So that's how they goes to their dream client.
No, I think basically what the reason why we are he's also going through a couple of these questions also, Vishal, is one is we've never done this with anyone so far. See, like investing 1.5 and 1 lakh a month is not so much of an issue. We can always do that, and like I said, if we do well, we have no problem, even paying more on the performance side or any of that sort of stuff. We always think that at the end of the day, for us, this is a headache that we don't want to take, right?
Right.
'Cause,
So just to give you confidence on this part, because I know how the process works, I trust my team, myself. So what I could do for rest of the businesses, because we know how it works and how it works, it's very easy. So we take the profit percentage. It usually from 5% to 6%. It usually reduces depending on the ticket size on the profits, not on the revenue. So it starts on the day or first month itself, right? But in your case, just to give you more confidence, so what we can do for first 3 months, we won't charge the profit percentages because you have already mentioned your conversion cycle is way too long, more than 80 days. So for first 3 months, we won't be charging a profit percentage.
okay.
So later you can also be realized, okay, we are getting leads and appointments. So that is something problem is fixed, and we can optimize to reduce the cost per lead, cost per appointment. That is something that we can do later.
That would be pretty good. I think so. The only thing I would request is like, yeah, I think if you could help in the initial months to just build up that sort of trust, right? Like, so we'll also know that what we're spending for will
Hmm.
actually well worth it. Right?
Hmm.
We understand you have manpower costs similar, like if we're a service business, you're a service business, you'll
Hmm.
have manpower costs and all that. So I'm not going to come and negotiate with you on some of those small things. We can go with this. We can start with the structure. And like I said, I just want to assure you that any help you need from our side in terms of content, anything, like we've got some fantastic videos of people sketching, building stuff, and all that, which would help you. We'll provide with all
We'll
of
be
that.
needing that. We'll be needing that because niche that we are talking about needs a lot of education, right, on different channels as well. Things,
Correct.
let's say, once the onboarding is done, we usually decide the KRA and KPIs of both the parties, right? So in this
Yeah.
thing, we'll be asking you to upload as many videos on YouTube and different platforms, so we
Sure.
can use their link and attach in our nurturing sequence. So it will redirect the traffic on different sources as well. So the
Sure.
people will feel, okay, this brand is not a new one. They have different presence on different channels as well. So this is something that I could trust with. So we will
Okay.
be consulting on a lot of things as well. So it won't be
Critical.
just the KPI thing.
ठीक है. Just be very critical with these things, so that way, like we if we've sent you something, it's not good, just let us know. We'll redo it or whatever it takes. There's a whole team sitting there just for building this,
Right.
right? So at some point of time, want to make sure that those also are relevant and we're helping you overall, not just to just randomly put something in there.
Right. So who will be the POC in from your team, by the way?
So for the until this gets done, you can directly speak to me. We'll work together because I feel like the one part that I'm responsible for is growth. That's my area. Like
Hmm.
as the founder of the company, that's something that I should be doing, right? Like
Hmm.
so, anything you need, whether it is any data, I'll make sure I get it on there. How do we communicate? How do you guys usually communicate?
So we have a WhatsApp group. So there will be a project manager assigned to it. So for any day-to-day concerns, any escalations, you can directly reach out to him, and I'll be added into that WhatsApp group as well. We
Okay.
have meetings that is every 15 days. And for maximum in 30 days, you can have 3 meetings, right?
Okay.
With the performance marketing team, with the project manager, and for me, because during the setup and everything before getting the ads live, I'll be personally there to help you with the other parts, other verticals. Let's say in
Sure.
terms of value ladder, in terms of building that great offer, in terms of qualifying how to create a form and everything, I'll be there as
Yeah.
well.
Okay. That sounds perfect. That's exactly what I wanted. So, and I think until we get some traction, if you're there, it will be a bigger confidence boost for us rather than working with somebody else. That's totally perfect.
Right, right. So do you want to have a word with Divyam, I guess? So he's the co-founder, right?
No, I'm all set with this. I think we can start and we can work.
All right.
The only thing what we'll do is, let's say, once after this call, you just let us know what, let's say, your onboarding thing is, or what some things you
Right,
need from
right.
us.
Do you mind
We can,
paying GST or something?
we have
No.
no issues. We have no issues
Great,
not
great,
paying.
great. Generally, I mean, I have some clients, so they generally need to figure out something because we are based out of Gurgaon. So people
Okay.
have some sort of reference in Gurgaon or Delhi, and so they can directly give the cash. No problem. GST works fine for us. And for onboarding, give us a day because obviously we are a service industry guys, so there are people already aligned to it. Most probably, if everything is done, Monday might be the onboarding call, not tomorrow.
Okay. Sounds good. Sounds good.
Right, right. So what I'll do after this call, yeah, if you have any questions, feel free.
No, no, nothing else. Nothing else.
Right.
No, no.
So after this call, what I'll do, I need to have few things. So my project manager will be reaching out in terms of GST number, a lot of things, right? Plus an email will be sent, plus how the whole process works. We'll be adding you in a WhatsApp group. Your team can be added over there as well, right?
Okay. I'll make sure we get you all the correct email IDs, the right phone numbers to get added onto this group,
Right,
and also a quick introduction of the team as well. So that
right,
way, if
right,
you need,
right, right. This is my personal number. You can save it.
all right, I'm sharing mine as well.
Is there anything, anytime, you can just drop me a message and all right, let me just VT, if I talk about the co-founder, I mean Devim is the co-founder or you're just the founder?
So it's just me, and then there's another partner in the firm, and that's it. So apart from that, but day to day, everything else, I run pretty much all of that.
Great.
And yeah, so let's say decision wise, it's all on me.
Perfect, perfect. So do you think this will work and we will be able to get you where you want to be, right?
I think so. I'm a very positive and hopeful person, so I always think that you know what.
I trust the process and I trust the process. And if you are ready for it, I mean to give it your best shot because I can see that you are ready for the content and everything. This will
Yeah,
work it out for sure.
yeah, that's all. That's all we want to
All right.
look at is the confidence, and from your side, just give it your 100%.
For
That's
sure,
basically
for sure, for sure. All right, all right. Okay, VT, is there anything?
nothing
All
else.
right,
I think we can safely. We look forward to your next communication, and then we'll
right,
take it forward.
right, right. All right, all right, all
Take
right.
care, man.
Thank you so much. It was nice talking to you. Bye.
Same here. Thanks, Vishal.